Hello and welcome to Sound Like, where today we're going to be looking at Fury. This is one of my favourite Muse songs to play, and I'm very excited to finally do a Sound Like for it. Guitar wise, I'm going to be using my Chaos Manson. Before we go anywhere, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when I upload new content. And let's get into pedal cam. So here we are at pedal cam. We're on patch 8, which means we are on whammy prime phase 90, whammy overdrive distortion phase 90, whammy prime delay phase 90, and finally at whammy overdrive delay and phase 90. So at the beginning of the song we start on patch C with the prime distortion and the delay. Now it's important to note that throughout the entirety of the song the whammy is on in the harmonic octave up and down mode, and we will be manipulating the treble at various key points, but we'll see that later on. So the song opens up on patch C and with the prime distortion, and it sounds a little bit like this. It's a sound that I really like, and the addition of the sustainer really helps to kind of create this kind of weird ambient vibe to it. Without it, it's not so bad. You just need to keep picking. It's perfectly acceptable to do it without the sustainer, but if you've got a guitar with a sustainer, you can just let your picking hand off the guitar and just really rely on the sustainer to keep the string vibrating and to play around with it. So the rest of this section on patch C goes along like this, and we'll get Drone Harry to do a demonstration of that right now. So as we can see, the patch C is going on there the entire time until the verse comes in, so we'll do the verse. So for the verse of Fury, we go over to patch B, ignoring the phase 90 because that doesn't appear in the entirety of the song. We're just using the whammy and the overdrive distortion. As we can see on here, we're leaning much more towards the distortion side of things than we normally do, because usually it's quite in the middle, just because I want the sound of this to be a lot more direct and less muffly, a bit more pinpoint. So that's why it's like that. I could even take it a bit further up and it'll sound, we'll take it without the whammy and it sounds like this. And then with the whammy, it sounds like this. I really like this sound. I really, especially lately, I'm really enjoying using the whammy on a harmony octave lower with my rhythm sound for just single notes for like more lead stuff, but it just really it sounds amazing to me. So it's for stuff like something like this. It sounds amazing. It's a sound that for me Matt's using a lot more in more of the modern stuff, but because this song's from like 2002, but recorded in 2002, released in 2003, it's interesting to see that those sorts of sounds were kind of thought of way back then and they're being introduced now. But for me, Fury really works to have that lower harmony octave being brought in for the guitar to really double up along with the bass. Really, for like live performances, having the guitar and the bass do the same thing really kind of delivers a lot of power to it, and Fury is a brilliant example of power in a live performance. So that's it for the verse. It's very straightforward. You just have to have the whammy on and a pretty decent distortion. There we have it. Now time to go on to the chorus. We switch over to patch D for this. In the build up to it, what I like to do is to sometimes maybe just get a harmonic and do that, just ramp up the whammy ever so slightly, kind of relying on the delay to elongate those sounds and make it a bit more ambient. So you can see it just kind of stretches the feel into it to dive into the chorus, and then you just play the normal chords. It's exactly the same as the verse sound, as we're using the same distortion. It's just adding in the delay. It just gives it a slightly different feel. Largely it's the same sound obviously, but it's just adding in some delay to kind of give that ambient vibe and really thicken out the chorus. In situations like this, for me, delay really helps to thicken out the sound of any guitar, so it's perfect for the chorus for this song. That's kind of it. It's a very simple sound along with the verse sound. This song is kind of pretty easy. It's just relying on this whammy to give it that kind of extra dimension. So we do the chorus and then we do the verse again, and then we have the riff. We go into the big huge riff, so we'll do that now. So for this riff, we come off of patch D and go right over to patch A, which is just the prime distortion and whammy. So this goes over to our kind of big huge riff tone, and then it will sound like this. Huge, big, fat, just exactly what I use the prime distortion for. There's no other way of saying it. It's perfect for something like this. So we do the riff a few times as long as we need to, and then we switch over to patch C, this kind of like solo section. This only adds in the delay, so we've got the same amount of attack from the distortion, and then we go into the kind of intro-y sound again, and then after that we then start the solo. So again, we're still relying on the sustainer for this, and it will sound so in the same kind of vein as what's going on with the intro, the delay really helps to stretch these sounds out and kind of give it that thicker sound to it. The tempo is kind of quite slow. Well, the kind of feel for this, rhythm-wise, is quite slow, so the delay just helps kind of like fill that out, thicken that out. And then playing around on the whammy with the kind of differing octaves helps to really give that full range in there. It makes it a lot more interesting. Without the delay, the song would be quite, I say, unremarkable, like sound-wise. The whammy really kind of does make this song for me. So that's why when I first got my whammy, this is one of the first songs I kind of, well, so this is one of the first songs I went over to play as soon as I got my hands on it and plugged it in. This was the perfect song, one of the perfect songs for this, along with Dead Star, Killing the Name Of, something like Invincible as well, just kind of with real emphasis on what's going on with the whammy. So essentially that is the entire song done. We just go into another chorus and then go into another big riff. So it's patch D for the chorus and then A again for the riff at the end, and that's it. It's very simple. What more do you want? Outro time. So that was Fury. I hope you enjoyed that one. As I said at the beginning, it's a very simple song sound-wise. We're really relying on the whammy for the vast majority of the kind of the range tone-wise for this song, so it's a really great pedal for that. It's a really fantastic song. As I said, it's one of my absolute favourites. So if you did enjoy that one, let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.